I'm Gary.
This is Austin.
And we are Midwest Mics coming back at you live with another episode of Fully Loaded Kansas City right here on the Kansas City Podcast Network. So what's up, man?
I'm driving down to the lake, so I'm kind of we're doing this via like phone call, Zoom, over the phone or whatever. So, it's Memorial Day weekend, so you just kind of do fun stuff, try to do stuff with the family. So heading down to the lake should be a good time. The weather's not like awesome. It's not like 80, 90 degrees, like swimming and stuff like that, but it'll still be nice to go down there.
Yeah, no, you'll have a good time down at the lake. Lakes are always fun. It's a good weekend to get out of town. I think I'm just going to kind of have a low-key weekend here, with the wife and chill out.
Hang out, cook out a little bit.
Yeah, I'll probably fire up the old grill today or tomorrow and cook some burgers and some brats and maybe some steaks. I don't know. See what we got.
Whoa!
Pull it out of the freezer.
Full buffet going on.
Yeah. See what's going on. So,
That'll
all right.
Good.
Well, you're driving, so let's just jump right into it here. Start with the NFL news. The biggest news right now in the NFL going on is all this Julio Jones stuff. By the way, I think the phone call was staged with Shannon Sharp. Where are you at on that?
Yeah, so the thing is, it's kind of split, right? Everyone's kind of trying to figure that out. I think it was stage 2. Here's another thing that I kind of see coming out of this is that, so he does the phone call, and then he's going to end up getting traded, right? Other players will be like, man, that was a good idea to do that.
Yeah.
I should do that too. If I want to get traded, I need to be as loud as possible about me getting out of there. And so I think more of that stuff's going to happen, actually. Whereas before it was like players like they were outspoken. I feel like Julio going on there doesn't diminish his value. Everybody knew he was getting traded anyways to me, but his only knock on his value is that he's 32, so he has probably like 3 or 4 years left, and then his contract is like mega.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a big contract for sure. But yeah, he was, he had requested a trade from the organization, obviously months back. That's came out now. But they weren't trading him. They were taking phone calls, but they hadn't made a move. And I think the phone call with Shannon Sharp is going to get it done. Get him traded.
I actually agree. I think more stuff's going to happen with that deal. You know what I mean? Like we're calling out shows and stuff. Now, one thing that's funny we haven't touched on as far as like Atlanta is handling this situation 1,000 times better than Houston handled Deshaun Watson, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like their star guy, who's 32 years old, he's thinking, dang, the last 2 or 3 years we've only won 10 games or whatever. I need to go win a ring before I become a Hall of Famer. He probably had a nice little meeting with the new coach and then the new GM and talk to them. And you know what? The thing is, it's probably a good time to have a break just because they do have a kind of a new regime going on, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you see that a lot in the NFL when new coaches come in. They kind of the veteran leader in the locker room. They kind of try to make a move on from them. I mean, I know Parcells did that kind of everywhere he went. I think most famously, was trading Emmitt Smith, getting rid of Emmitt or cutting Emmitt Smith. And he went to Arizona when Parcells came in. Just Emmitt wasn't part of the plan anymore. So those guys just kind of do that everywhere. I mean, Belichick, he did kind of the same thing when he first got to New England because they had a quarterback too. And he kind of moved on from him and got Bledsoe. So
Wait, he moved on from who was the guy in New England before Bledsoe?
I can't remember, but I was watching something. They were talking about it last week.
Oh, so that was his big deal, was to move on and grab his guy, huh? Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I mean,
or no, it wasn't New England. It was Cleveland, because they had Bernie Kosar, and Bernie Kosar was beloved in Cleveland, and he moved on from Bernie Kosar. So yeah, but
a lot. I mean, so that's gonna be a good break. So, have any kind of prediction where you think Julio will end up?
I think Julio will end up with a contender. Obviously he wants to win. Somebody with a lot of draft capital. I think Miami makes a lot of sense. Miami obviously has a young quarterback right now.
I agree.
And it would be good, if Tua is going to be successful, for him to get a deep threat like that. Not that Denver is a contender, but I think Denver is an interesting option to add another weapon for their young quarterback or Teddy Bridgewater. But I will say, it came out yesterday too. It came out a couple days ago. But Drew Lock's been meeting with Peyton Manning this offseason about film study and different stuff. So they met a bunch.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So evidently Peyton believes in Drew Lock, I would think.
Well, on a side note, which direction is Denver going? Are they still trying to stick with Drew Lock and Bridgewater's the backup?
From what I understand, it's going to be a competition between Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater. So
has that ever worked out?
Yeah, I mean, I think whoever they think gives them the best chance to win is going to play. So, but if what I mean is like in the past, has any team like won with having like a quarterback competition? Oh, you mean if they won like a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Maybe, you know what? Last time might be a long time ago. Like Ravens, when the Ravens won with Dilfer, and they were rotating Dilfer and Tony Banks like forever.
Yeah, that could be.
That's rough, McGruff.
Yeah, yeah.
So one thing they can do too is like if they. One thing they could do too is if they figure out like they potentially just trade like the other guy.
Yeah, potentially trade the other guy. I think is what you said. You were kind of breaking up there.
Okay, I'm hitting the rough patch.
Yeah,
that's all right.
Yeah, but yeah. So Aaron Rodgers is the other big news. In the NFL right now, Aaron Rodgers. So where's Aaron Rodgers going to end up? Do you think he plays in Green Bay?
No. I think he's more likely to end up on Jeopardy than Green Bay. I think he's never playing for Green Bay again.
Yeah, I agree with you there for that. I don't know where he'll end up. I don't know if Green Bay will pull the trigger and end up. I mean, I think if you're Green Bay, you have to look at it and go, is this guy really willing to sit out? And I think he is. And so I think he is too. If he is really willing to sit out, then you've got to trade him and get what you can get for him. You have to.
Right. Now I'll say this though, you got to figure out now that it's getting late, but you got to figure out what teams still have, like if they've already made a trade for a quarterback, they may not be willing to do it again, but they might be, right?
Yeah.
So there's only a handful of teams that would not go for Aaron Rodgers, right? Like Seattle, no Aaron Rodgers. Kansas City, we don't need Aaron Rodgers. Like there's only a few teams only a few teams that where it wouldn't really make sense to trade for him. But like, dude, like 25 other teams should probably make. Well, you know what? I think you need to be in content. If you think Aaron Rodgers coming in for another 2 years since he is so old, like if that could get you to a Super Bowl, I think you make that move.
Yeah, definitely. I'm with you. I think there's 25, 26 teams in the NFL that should be trying to get that deal done. Obviously Kansas City's not one of them. Tampa Bay is not one of them. I mean, outside of those two, nothing really. I mean, Jacksonville maybe. Urban Meyer.
Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle. Russell Wilson.
Baltimore?
Yeah, Baltimore, they got a good young quarterback, so I would definitely say them. But other than that, really, it's all good.
Yeah, I tend to agree, too. You also have a team that's got enough money to take on his contract, too, right?
Yeah.
So it's a complicated thing, so I don't know, man. I don't know if he ends up actually sitting out this year. Or if he plays, I think his best landing spot is Chicago. Honestly, I mean, it'll be like it's an Andy Reid style offense with Nagy, and then the defense is really really good. He's good in the cold weather. They can just Andy Dalton and you know what, they drafted Justin Fields.
Yeah, they drafted Fields. So
what do you do? You give Andy Dalton to Green Bay, and then you have Rodgers. You tell Rodgers hey, Fields ain't starting for 2 years. I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna say this too. Chicago and Green Bay are not making a deal for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Green Bay's not going to let that happen. Same with Favre. I mean, Favre went to the Jets and then got to Minnesota that way. Like, they're not trading that guy in the division. There's no way. Zero chance.
So he goes. I don't even know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where he goes, but he's taking his last snap in Green Bay.
Aaron Rodgers goes to. No, he don't want to play in Philly.
No, and Philly's happy with Hurts, I think. So I think Washington maybe.
Yeah, that would make sense. Shoot, I don't even know. Prediction is actually, the best. He won't want to go anywhere that has a young quarterback. You know what I mean? Because he wasn't a fan with Jordan Love. But the best fit for him before they drafted Trey Lance was San Francisco.
Yeah. And that's kind of home for him, so California.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So let's talk a little Cowboys. Dak was back on the practice field this week at OTAs, throwing the ball, moving around, looking good. They say he's ahead of schedule on his rehab. So as a Cowboys fan, I am happy to hear that Dak Prescott is on the field and making some good throws.
I'm happy. It's I'm partially happy for you. The other half of me I feel a little sad for you because, maybe you think hey, 14 wins this year. It's probably going to be 9.
I'm not quite at 14, but I think 11 or 12 is doable.
With the dude, and I'm not even messing around with the Chiefs. Right now, I'm leaning towards the 17. 17-0.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
Well, Vegas has them favored in 16 and 17 games. I don't even know which games they don't have them favored in. I think it's I don't know. Anyways, no, it's cool. I like to joke around, but the league is always better when everybody's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So having a healthy Dak around it's just better. It's better games.
Yeah.
So you got as a football fan, you got to be a fan of that. Now, if I was an Eagles fan or a Washington football team fan or a Giants fan, I wouldn't want Dak to be hurt forever. But can you just be hurt for another year, please? Just sit out for another year.
Yeah.
So probably no
Yeah, no preseason. I would think. Yeah, let's not. I mean, maybe let Dak take a few snaps, but not.